So, Rick, how do we travel with kids? Small ones, a little bit bigger ones, everything. I've seen so many passengers getting nervous at the airport yet,
Mhm.
yelling like crazy, asking to do some miracles to moms traveling with kids. Where do we start? What we do first?
Plan ahead. The most important thing is to plan ahead. What I see a lot of, and I've dealt with a lot on board planes, is families buying tickets and they price shop. And most all airlines, matter of fact, I don't know any that don't do it right now, sell the cheapest ticket, which does not include a seat. And then the family shows up at the gate hoping to sit together, and the seats are assigned by available seats at the last minute. So, never, if you're traveling with your family, you need to plan ahead, pick out your seats, and buy them in one reservation. And that's another common mistake, buying in multiple reservations. And then, if something changes with the flight, the seats or the flight information changes, the airline doesn't know you're traveling together. And it's going to start assigning seats to the new reservations, which could not be together. So make one reservation with the entire family, buy your seats together. Then you're not going to have any problem. Any changes to the reservations will keep everybody together. Don't count on that low fare discount seat to get on and start asking everybody to move around. Unfortunately, a lot of people won't do that. And it's going to be very difficult, especially depending on the size of your family, to get people to move to accommodate everybody.
One question. I've seen some people, now everyone looks at TikTok and all the advices and so on. So a lot of people are telling, oh, listen, I have a life hack how to do and whatever. It seems to me that when people are trying to look for the low cost, the lowest possible fare and so on, basically they are back to paying even more when they need to fly all family together. Then you will have to buy seats plus to what you have already paid. So will you agree that being smart and do it the right way will not cost you more, but it will save a lot of uh, screaming, stressing, and different situations?
Absolutely. And you'll see, especially here in the US, the low cost carriers tell you it's almost 50% less if you prepay for your carry on bag, if you prepay for any check luggage. And then you show up at the airport, and the low cost carriers are very strict about those carry on items. I know Frontier and Spirit charge $100 to bring your bag on board if you didn't prepay for it. That's a lot of money. So again, plan ahead, read the restrictions for the airfares because it's going to be better ahead of time. Check any big suitcases. I know it's a lot, $50 for the big suitcase, but then you're not fighting with that while you're trying to get the kids on the plane, while you're carrying their little backpacks and their activities, car seats, strollers. That's a lot of stuff to carry, and that adds to the stress. I have seen in the last couple weeks, they've got some really nice new strollers out there. I actually commented to a mother, uh, that looks like a little tri-wheeler, and it really made it easy for the mom. So it's not the big fold up stroller. It was a tri-wheeler, and it folded down almost the size of an umbrella. And she puts the child in there, pushes him to the plane, folds it up, and it fit right in the overhead. So, there's a lot of new innovations coming out for people traveling. The
Uh,
other big thing is, go ahead. I'm sorry.
uh, One thing, when you start planning, that's all good. How do you deal with people, anxious, nervous people, already on a check-in row at the airport, hating passengers with kids?
again, the children are going to travel, so there's nothing you can do about it. And the airline is not going to ask people with children uh, to sit in
To
the
have
back
a
of the
separate plane.
correct to sit in the back of the plane. So that's just part of life. And we were all kids at one time, right? And we all have kids and everything. So, um, I know people get upset when babies are crying, and I feel sorry for the parents. There's nothing that can be done. It hurts the children's ears. You know, talk to your doctor to see what they recommend to keep the pressure off their ears, to keep the pressure off the babies. The kids that are crying in flight, that are bored, there's a lot of things that we do wrong and are not aware of. Is you've got to bring your own snacks and your own food. There's very few airlines now, that are going to have enough to keep your kids busy. So bring snacks for the kids, bring food for the kids, make sure you're feeding them. If they have any dietary restrictions, make sure you bring those items, because to get on the plane and then expect them to have special food or special meals is going to be really difficult. Um, and the other thing, if you need any medications, bring it. The airlines cannot give out any medications. They can't give you aspirin for headaches or, you know, uh, allergy medicine if you're trying to get it. So the parents need to carry in their carry-on bags any medications that they need to have.
Should talk to the rest of passengers. I mean, I'm 4 times mom, so I'm trying to help when I see passenger with kids and I see that they're lost. They don't know what to do. You try to help something. But how do we do and what do we say to passengers who are against children flying?
The plane. What I have seen, which is really neat, is you could take about 10 or 12 little baggies. Parents have put candy in baggies and stuff and put a little note and said, "Sorry, this is my first flight. I hope I don't disturb you." I think that's cute. And just give it out to the people around you. It kind of breaks the ice. You don't have to, but I thought that's a neat little thing.
That's a cool
And
idea,
then,
actually.
yeah. And on the flip side, like you said, when you see people with the kids, offer to help. What can I do to help you? Can I put your bag up? Because think about it. Mom's holding the baby in one arm, pulling their luggage. So if you say, "What can I do to help you?" That's going to make them feel more comfortable and relieve the tension for the mom that's trying to juggle the child.
Uh, People hating crying babies on the plane. They're asking flight attendant to move them somewhere.
The
Again,
flight attendant's going to say it's a full flight. There's no empty seats anymore.
any rules, regulations, or restrictions, what can be done, what is totally impossible. Because I've seen that many times and I've seen different reactions. Some flight attendants, they're patient with everyone flying and they try to explain and they try to say, listen, I understand, but we can do this and that, and this is what you're asking, it's too much. But if there are any rules and regulations on that,
There is no regulation that says the baby can't cry on the plane. So, and so I think, what I've seen, the in-flight crew member will try to comfort the mother too and offer to assist. And that's all you can ask. I think passengers can complain if they make an effort to do something, offer to help the mother, ask them. Nowadays, though, we have to be on. A lot of people have headphones. I've seen people put the headphones on right away and stuff too, you know.
not even listening to the security measure.
Correct. I mean, yeah, we don't, it keeps me awake too, but I don't get mad because what are you going to do? It's a baby. He's just hopefully uncomfortable. Now, I think if the mother's oblivious to what's going on, and the kids are screaming, or I have seen kids with their iPads playing the movies and games loud, there is a airline policy that says they need to have headphones. So the parents need to be aware of that. The kids can't play loud music and loud games or watch TV without headphones on. So the in-flight crew will ask them to put the headphones on. And you can call the flight attendant and say, "Hey, I can't watch my movie."
Uh, Kids running on the plane.
Well, that's when it comes back. The parents should pack things for them to do. Movies, iPad games, coloring books, learning activities, anything they can do that's going to keep them comfortable. They can't let them run up and down the aisle. There's a safety issue there. They should be in their seat with the seatbelt loosely around them if there is turbulence unexpected. I know it's tough with the parents. They're thinking, wow, I get a 5-minute break. It's going to depend on the in-flight crew, but that's how I would approach it. For their own safety, they need to be in the seat. They could fall, they could trip, they could hit somebody else. So they should expect that somebody's going to ask them to have the child. And again, if you keep them busy, you should be all right. Make sure you got their favorite movies already downloaded and stuff. So,
Any rules and regulations regarding the food for kids on different airlines? Because again, as you told, a lot of parents, they have expectations, but they are not reading rules and regulations, even buying tickets, if there are special requirements or something.
no, but if your child has an issue, I do recall there was an issue on a United flight where the child was diabetic and they were begging the flight attendants for something for the child, a meal, and they didn't have anything because it wasn't a meal flight. So you need to plan ahead, look and see if they are going to serve you, and what is going to be the options, for the food. And if your child needs something special, you should bring it on. Don't wait till you get on the plane and start asking. It's unfortunately, airplanes are catered to what the specifications for the flight are. There's no extra food. There's no different foods. It's just what's pre-ordered. So, snacks are good, easy to use. There's no microwave. You can't heat up anything. So, if you buy it in the
Um,
out at the restaurant, bring it with you.
we were talking, there is a part before the flight, so the airport before and the airport after the landing. Question: what if your child is lost at the airport? I've heard only once about that, but I got a lot of questions after I understood that that was a real situation. And mom, she had no idea. Well, the boy was four and a half, I think, not 5 years old. And all the flight he was making was a dancing something, Michael Jackson future one. And then he got lost on a destination airport.
Wow. Well, I think the biggest it's hard because when they find the child, they're going to start making PAs. And remember, it's not the child that's lost; it's the parents that's lost. They lost the child. So you're going to listen to the PAs. They're going to start calling. I would always go back to the original gate and ask for help from there. Uh, the child hopefully has some identification. I love what they do with children that travel alone. If you're traveling with your kids, you could do that. Something around their neck or on their wrist, a label with their name and address and your phone number, which would be really good. So if they found them, they can call you right away, just if they wander off in the crowd. And hopefully some of the nice people will notice the child's not with anybody and stop and get an airline employee to help. Don't make it visible to other passengers, but really discreet on a bracelet. They sell those bracelets you could write it on or something, on something that goes around their neck like a lanyard with the little tag that it would be inside there, because people would immediately, anybody helping him, police or gate agent, would see that and grab it and say, hey, let's call mommy's cell. Always put your real cell phone number in the reservations. A lot of people put work numbers or home numbers. Well, you're traveling and the airline's calling your home, you're not going to answer because you're on the plane.
My last question, talking about kids, are there any rules and or regulations what flight attendant or crew members can do to help parents and kids, and what is, even if they're willing to help, what is absolutely out of their, let's say, they can't do that?
Well, one of the simplest things is they cannot accompany a child, into the restroom and stuff. So the child needs to be able to do it by himself, or the parent needs to take the child to the restroom. Um, and I would say to if you're traveling alone with 3 or 4 kids and you're going to ask the in-flight crew member, you're going to take one child, you could maybe ask them just to keep an eye on the child, keeping in mind they have 150, 200 people to take care of. But I'm sure if they have a minute and the kids are all seated, they would try to help you that way. It's also nice to ask other people around you, tell the kids to stay seated, put your seatbelt on, mommy will be right back. But I would clearly communicate that with the people around you so they don't get up and start wandering the plane scared and looking for mommy who's in the restroom. I've seen beautiful videos where in-flight crew members have held babies and went up and down the aisle with them,
I mean,
to
how
give
many
mommy a
babies
break.
are they
Yeah,
actually born on the flight? So
yeah,
crew members are sometimes playing doctors and doing everything possible. That
correct.
that's just an amazing stuff and a brilliant job they're doing. It doesn't hurt being nice to people. Maybe even
Yeah,
they don't always deserve that we would be
right.
nice, but it doesn't hurt. Thank you very much.
Have a great trip.
Thank you.